Thank you, everybody, and welcome to the Directly Indirect Show. I'm your host, Tremaine, man. And again, thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Like, I can't say it enough. Like, I know it's corny. I get it. Whatever. Thank you. And I love y'all so much. Like, legit. That's the truth. This is my passion. Y'all know how I feel about talking. For those that know me, know I can talk forever. So, thank you. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different. If y'all watched my last video, I made a comment about possibly doing a video about what happened to me at the last prison I was at, where in that case, I was not so much sexually assaulted by a superior female officer who was a sergeant, because I was a correctional officer and the sergeant is above. So I'm a step down, which means she's my superior. It is called fraternizing because she's above me. And that did happen at the last facility I was at. And I'm not going to say the name of the facility. I'm definitely not going to say the name of the sergeant. But for those who know me and for those that happen to work with me in that facility, they know exactly who I'm talking about. So, long story short, or short story long. So anyway, I go home, I get online. I'm like, oh, the prison is hiring. So I put in for it, and prisons, for those that know, prisons are always short. So obviously they called me. You know what I'm saying? So I go for the interview. And, the whole process, they give you the whole spiel that they don't tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie. They don't tell you the truth. They don't tell you you're about to endure some of the most grueling days of your life. They don't tell you your health is probably going to get compromised. They don't tell you that your relationship is going to go to crap. And you can say to yourself, well, it's up to you to do these things, and it's up to you. If you work for the state, you know it's not up to you. It's going to happen. You have to be there. You have to know. You have to be in the know. You have to be a state employee. You have to just be there. It's easy to set from the sideline and judge a state employee, a prison employee, and well, I don't understand. It's up to you. Man, no, believe me, it gets dark. I go for orientation, and this is my first time working for the state, right? So I'm super green at this point. I'm super green. I'm super unaware. I don't know what's going on. I just see people walking around. Nobody's speaking to us because we're the new guys. I don't want to say the three letters because that can possibly give away the prison I was at, but we're the rookies. I just say rookies for the sake of the conversation.
All right, boys. I'm a rookie. This is my first ever deployment.
Oh, we're dead.
Oh, so nobody's speaking to you. Nobody's saying anything to you. Whatever. So cool, whatever, right? We're fast forward a few weeks. I've gained a little rapport with the people in my class. I'm meeting people, and I'm learning the lay of the land a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm learning what is what, certain terminologies. I'm learning certain steps. Just basic stuff you learn just from being around people who's been doing it for a long time. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a child mimicking a mom. When the mom says, "Oh shoot," and the child goes, "Oh shoot," like you literally learn that way, right? So it was a situation that kind of mimics that. Fast forward, it's time to go to the academy. I call it basic training, but the academy. It's called the academy. So now it's time to go to the academy. For those that don't know, the academy is somewhere where you can go home each day, but you have to be on time. You can't miss one day. It's in a different town from which people live in for the most part. Like, nobody I knew lived in this particular town. So everybody was traveling. It was people traveling from hours away just to go through the academy process, because you have to get through the academy process in order to become a certified correctional officer. So I've heard things about the academy, right? I've heard that, oh man, so many hot chicks, and you go and it's this big smorgasbord of alcohol, drugs, and partying. And no comment. No comment. But it was fun. I learned a lot, whatever the case may be. the academy was great. You know, you get there, you wake up. It's a super large spread of food at the in the cafeteria. You can eat as much as you want, but why eat as much as you want? Because as soon as you eat, you have to go run. So it was like, why eat a lot? It was like this weird dynamic. That was fun. That was like 6 weeks. And you learn a lot about yourself, a lot about people, a lot about teamwork, and just overall a lot about DOC. Now it's time to do your book. The book is things you have to check off in order to become certified in conjunction with going to the academy. But the academy did the book. Well, when I was in my book, I was set up in the booth. The booth is, y'all know what a booth is. The booth is pretty much where you sit and you get to watch the inmates and see what they're doing and keep them and get them whatever they need. If the things they need, not things they want, things they need. So one day, the sergeant, female sergeant, you can't bring in phones, obviously. So I was emailing my then girlfriend, and the sergeant comes behind me and she's like, oh, I know her, right? Because her picture was up in the email section of the email. She was like, she's a slut, right? And I kind of was like, what? She's like, oh, I know her. She's this, she has a this, she's this, she lives here. And she was right. She lived in the place she said she lived. But it was like, why is she saying that about my girl? Like, well, and I kind of like let it go for a few reasons. It's a female stuff. If it was like an issue with them too, it's female stuff. And I just got here, whatever. Like, I'm not going to leave her for you. In my mind, I'm thinking this is a weird situation. So I let it go because to me it was like female stuff. And I don't get in female stuff because that's female stuff. I become a certified officer. I finished the book, which took a few weeks, not long. And now I'm on post. I'm still in the booth now. I'm working by myself, but she comes in. She's a sergeant. She can come in whenever she feels like it. She comes in. She sees me, emailing my then girlfriend, and she goes, you should let me come over tonight, right? I'm like, oh, I get up at like 4 o'clock. I'm like, no, I'm good. We should have tequila. That's my drink of choice, tequila. She's like, I'm like, oh, well, maybe one day. I'm kind of like, how you saying, oh, maybe one day, but you're not ever gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm good. She finds me on Facebook and she sends me a request. We wasn't friends on Facebook, so she has to send like a request to send a message. And I'll read the message, and the message goes, what are you doing right now? I'm in your town. And she knew everybody knew where everybody lived. It's a small area, like it ain't that hard. Like, so I'm like, man, I got my daughter. And I didn't have my daughter that night, but I just said that so I know that'll like deter her from wanting to come over. The next night, she calls me on Facebook, right? She's like, yo, send me a picture of your whatever, right? Yeah, I mind you, this is a female sergeant, right? And I'm like, bruh, nah, bruh. I'm kind of like laughing it off, like in my mind, hoping that like, yo, she's really using her power to try to get some meat right now. You feel me? You feel me? Like, she's not attractive at all. And this is me not trying to be mean. This is me. She's not attracted to me. You feel me? Like, I don't think she's attractive. Let me just say that for the sake of the conversation. I don't think she's attractive at all. Even if she was, I'm good. Like, I had a whole girlfriend. I'm good. And my girlfriend was pregnant at the time. So I got like a lot going on. Like, she's like, really adamant, texting me, calling me, like you name it. She's super duper adamant. I'm trying to like get with me. I'm good. So one particular day, she calls me in her office, while we were working at the prison. And she's like rubbing on my leg. She's like, damn, I bet it's big. She's like, man, she on it, bro. Like, she was on it. I'm like, yo, look, I'm not leaving so-and-so. I appreciate it. It's flattering, but I'm good. Like, I'm good where I'm at. Pissed her off. A few days later, it's count time. Count time means it's time for me to go home. It's time for the inmates to get in the cell. So there's an issue with one inmate. He's on the phone. He does not want to get off the phone. So I look at my homegirl who was in the booth with me. I'm like, yo, I'm going to talk to him so we can get him off the phone in his cell. I can go home. I get out the booth. Can't leave the booth unattended, but she was in the booth. So I walked out. I'm like, yo, how about hanging the phone up, man? Let's do the count. Let's start again tomorrow. He was like, man, you, man, whatever, got my face. He cussing at me, wilding out. I'm like, wow. So now I'm heightened a little bit. I'm like, bro, let's just cut it out, bro. Let's go, man. Like, let's get off the phone. Let's jet. Like, let's talk about it tomorrow, man. Like, it ain't that deep. Man, I told you I'm not hanging this phone up. Woo, woo, woo. He wilding. And he stepped to my face. He stepped to my face. I look up at the booth. I see the sergeant who likes me. She's looking. So I'm like, well, she should come down and stop this. She's a sergeant. Like, she needs to come and tell him because it's an authority thing at the prison. It's, for the most part, if a sergeant or a person of a higher caliber tell an inmate to do something, they're more inclined to do it than just a regular CO. Sometimes, for the most part, right? This guy was a douchebag to everybody. So, but her being a sergeant, her first order of business should have been coming down, trying to talk to him. He gets in my face. The inmate gets in my face. He's like, I ain't moving. I ain't getting off this phone. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I take the phone. I hang it up. The inmate like headbutts me. He headbutt me. I'm like, oh my God. Like, I can feel my blood boiling. I'm like, Tremaine is okay, right? Don't break his jaw. Just don't break his jaw. It's okay, Tremaine. And I have this reputation of being a hothead, but I'm not. I contain myself more than what people believe. Believe me. And so he had this thing where he like headbutted me. So she came down then. She was like, hey, inmate Jones. That's not his name, but just saying that. You know, whatever. Then he's like cursing me, but he's going into his cell. Cool, it's over with. You know, I ain't lay a hand on him. Cool. It's all on camera. Next day, I get called to the watch office. The watch office is like the principal office. So I'm in the watch office. I see the lieutenant who just hated me because women thought I was handsome and he was old and stupid. So, true story. The lieutenant and the warden and the female sergeant who liked me, they were all sitting there, right? So I'm like, oh, I got to write a report from yesterday. Cool, my bad, right? Like, it's on because everything was on camera. I did nothing wrong, but they didn't even look at the camera. They just listened to her. She goes and tells them that I called them out for a fight and like I headbutted them. I'm like, what? Watch the first thing I say, watch the camera. They're like, no, we can't have this kind of action here at so and so prison. Just go home. We'll contact you when we do an investigation. I'm like, what? Oh, she mad. She big mad that word. I go home and I screenshotted all of the inboxes of basically her begging. That's what it was. And I emailed them to the warden. He calls me within 2 minutes like, yo, come here right now. Leave your uniforms at home. Come here ASAP. I need to talk to you. That was telling, right? Super telling because one, it was fraternizing. That makes the prison look bad, right? If you have a senior sergeant fraternizing with a male correctional officer. And it's the same way if it's a male sergeant fraternizing with a female correctional officer, which happens a lot. It happens more than what you can believe. Bro, it's bad. Like, the whole correctional system is flawed beyond imagination. But I digress. I get in my car, I drive up to the prison facility. He's like, yo, why didn't you tell me that when we were having a conversation? I said, well, it wasn't much of a conversation. It was you telling me to go home, right? Wasn't much of a conversation. He's like, are these messages recent? I'm like, last week is like the most recent one. Like, absolutely, they're recent. Like, they're dated. It's Facebook, right? He's like, man, I'm sorry. My apologies. I should have listened to you more. I took her word for everything, which I get it. She's the senior sergeant. So I get it. That makes sense for them to take her word. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't really upset about that. It made sense to me. I can rationalize it. It was easy to process. So He was like, listen, we got to do an investigation. Like, I get it. It's right here. But I can't have you here. I'm going to send you to ABC prison, because he shipped me to a different prison. I kept my time. I kept all of my credentials, whatever. Anything I've acquired while at this prison, I keep. It was a lateral move. It was even more money, I think. So it was and closer to me. So it wasn't a bad move. But I had friends there, right? Right? I went through the academy. I made friends. I'm like, why do I have to move? And why does she get to stay and I have to leave? Right? Fair question. And he went like, man, it's going to get nasty. And I don't want you here for any of this backlash. He's like, you're fine. You're going to be fine. These messages ensure you're going to be fine, but I need you gone. Now, I mind you, I could have reported her months ago. I didn't. Because to me, I was like, maybe it'll die, it'll fall off, it'll alleviate, right? Maybe she'll not be so forthcoming to trying to like get me from my girlfriend. It never stopped. It just increased. And when she finally realized that she couldn't get me, she lied on me. So that was the only defense I had. Like, okay. Since you want to lie, let me tell the truth. I'm like, man, okay, cool, I understand. So he writes paperwork. He makes a phone call right in front of me and was like, you start in a week. Take a week off, paid, get your mind right, readjust. I'm like, oh, it's all right, you know what I'm saying? I got a week off. You know what I'm saying? New facility, woo. I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? But I was still like, man, they ain't gonna fire her, bro. She a senior sergeant. She been here forever. They gonna just get rid of me and she gonna live her life and all they doing is separating us, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, cool, whatever, right? Cool, everybody laid back. It was a low-level facility, so it was a lot slower. Wasn't that many fights, wasn't that many arguments. It was like everybody had an actual date to get out of prison as opposed to the prison where I came from. Some cats was doing like 30 years, so their energy was different. So now I'm a lot more relaxed. Fast forward like 2 weeks, I had a cousin who worked at the prison where I just left. He calls me like, yo, you ain't gonna believe what just happened. I'm like, what? They fired her ass, bro. What? Yeah, they fired her ass, bro. They got rid of her, bro. Like, she was cursing, walking out, throwing stuff, woo. She was going crazy. What? Boom. This is insane. At this point, pandemic happens, right? Right along this time, the pandemic is happening. I leave the prison and I just start, just doing things, being close to family because, again, not then girlfriend's about to have a baby, stress leave. So all that stuff came from the whole occurrences and all that stuff, right? So I end up seeing her at like a store one day, right? One of the few stores that's open, obviously. So you'll see anybody because there's only like 2 stores open, right? At this point, like nothing's open besides like these 2 stores. And she looks at me and I look at her, turn away. I'm like, whatever, right? She walks past me. She goes, asshole. So I'm like, okay, I'm an asshole for telling the truth. All right, I eat that. 100% I eat it. I eat it twice on Sundays. Cool. I say this to say this. I'm a male. Now I want y'all to do some math for me. All right. I don't know what school y'all went to, but whatever school you went to, this is basic math. This is ABC, kindergarten, 1st grade math. If I'm a male, superior sergeant was fraternizing with me, right? Imagine the opposite of the male captain, the male sergeant, the male major fraternizing with lower ranked employees. I personally know sergeants and captains that had to retire for fraternizing with female officers. That number is astronomical. But if you're a female officer, because it's more likely that that's the case, right? If you're a female officer and say something, bro, you got to. Because if you don't, it gets nasty. It gets real nasty real quick, right? You can lose your job if things go super left as far as the argument on state ground. That person a fiance, husband, whatever can come and approach you, and then you're fighting on state ground and you still lose your job, right? It's just a risky situation overall. Like the whole thing is just screams, don't do it. And I didn't do it. And I still got hit. Well, I wouldn't say hit. I got transferred, but she got hit. It ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? But it's happening every day. It's happening right now. It happens in every state, every facility with each level ranked officer. Believe me, it's a sad story, bro. Crazy. But anyway, that's a story of a superior sergeant fraternizing with me at the time, the basic common correctional officer. That's a true story. I left out names because I don't be, I ain't, I tell stories. I'm not messy. It's a difference. So anyway, man, if y'all want to hear some more personal stories about my time at corrections, then let me know. Type in the comment you want to hear more stories because I got 100 of them and they all real. They all like, pfft. If y'all want to hear the girl I was talking to at corrections, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. That's a crazy story. That's a crazy story, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all ain't gonna believe it, but it's real. For those who know me, if you know, you know. So, like, comment, subscribe, man. I got 100 more stories. Tap in. And again, before you go, hold on, before you go, thank you, man. Y'all are the best ever. If you want to support me in any way, let me know. If you love what I do, if it's something else you want to talk about, let me know. I am going to do some relationship stuff also, so that's coming. That was like the first thing I was doing on YouTube, and I love it. I miss it. So I will incorporate that in general as far as different content. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Again, I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all the best. You know how we do it, man. We out of here.
All think I'm awesome, but I'm not the man. I'm all about my biz. Paper come in suitcases. When I talk, they hold their mouth. It's looking like they tooth aching. Cause I know these dudes hate, but I'm trying to keep my cool. I'm trying to keep my hands clean, but it's hard with all these tools. Kinda hard with all these rules.